What is going on, everybody? Pete Simonetti here for NyynewsTV, and today is a special day because we are interviewing our new teammate that I've told you guys about already, Dayne Huber. Dayne, what's going on, my friend?
NYY News. I can't believe I'm a part of this team. I'm incredibly happy to do it. Hope I can live up to the expectations.
Yes, sir. Come on, Dayne. You're living up to the expectations already, okay? You're right here in
All
front
right.
of us. We're ready to rock and roll. So, first and foremost, I told everybody a very little about you. But let them know about you. Let them know about your background a little bit.
Grew up in an athletic family. Dad played basketball at Hawaii, got drafted. Cousin Kurt played professional football for the Raiders, got a championship ring. Have a couple of close friends that played Major League Baseball. One is a pitcher. I really got into Yankee prospects when I went back to watch my close friend. He was in the Rays organization at the time in South Carolina, or he was in North Carolina, Durham.
Okay.
And then we went down to South Carolina in Charleston and got to see Jesus Montero play.
Hey, Jesus.
And I'd always loved the Yankees growing up, and I saw this kid coming, and I had to follow him. Had to figure out when he was going to be a part of it, and then it just went from there.
Nice. So overall, you have about 10 years experience, roughly?
2009, I've been writing since then.
Okay.
But I've really been hard at it since about 2015.
Awesome. So, Dayne, let's do this, man. Tell us a little bit about it. I mean, look, we all know that it's an exciting time right now for Yankee prospects,
yes, it is.
Right? We know
Very
that they got a very nice organization. I would even say sometimes I feel like their organization is a little underrated because they do have some guys at the lower level that are extremely talented too.
They do. They have great position depth all the way through. Little weak on the corners, little weak in the outfield, but other than that, up the middle, behind the plate, we're good.
So let's do this. Give us a rundown quite quickly of, we already know our Anthony Volpes, right? We know Oswald Peraza. We got to see him. We know Cabrera. Tell us a little, I want you to do this. Tell us a little about Jason Dominguez, because we all know how hyped this guy is. We know he got off to a tough start, where a lot of people were saying, is this guy going to be anything? So tell us a little about what you learned about Dominguez.
Well, he struggled with his right-handed hitting. That's not uncommon with young switch hitters because they don't face a lot of good lefties coming up.
Right.
He has improved that a great deal. He has gotten his body in shape from the size he was in 2021. He slimmed down about 25 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Brought back
that was very noticeable too, by the way.
It was.
That was extremely noticeable.
Brought back some of the speed and agility that the scouts said that he lost. Puts up monster exit velocities. Kid's an incredibly hard worker. I don't think he's a center fielder going forward, especially when he gets to the major leagues. Called up to Double-A originally because they wanted him to shadow Harrison Bader, to work on reads, roots, anything in center field. There's not much of a better guy that you could learn from Harrison Bader. And apparently he was so impressive during that time that they gave him some reps. And he took off. I think he hit 3 home runs in the week leading up to the Double-A playoffs. And then when he reached the Double-A playoffs is when he took off.
Yeah.
Had a 2 home run game, 1 from each side of the plate, 5 RBI game, batting 1, 2, or 3 against the best pitching he ever had. He just absolutely tore it up, and it changed his clock. We were thinking 2024 for him, maybe late 23 that would get a chance to see him.
Right.
He's got a chance to hit his way to the major leagues next year.
Yeah, that's really it's really remarkable. And I would say this, just based off my experience with the Yankees prospects, the one thing I don't feel the Yankees do enough of, and it depends on the person, but I just don't feel they fast track enough. I feel the Yankees are very much about, leave him, that he got to get to every level and they got to experience every level. But other teams are like, hey, Double-A we know is where the elite talent is. Call them up. They're ready to go.
Yeah, you saw the Braves take kids up from Double-A. You saw the Mets do it a couple times. You saw the Phillies do it.
Yeah.
We've got to be more aggressive getting our young talent to the Major League roster because they can affect how we play at the Major League level.
Yeah, and the good thing, too, for me is that wouldn't you even – it's kind of like the Astros did with Jeremy Pena. That they knew they had your Jordan Alvarez, your Altuve, your Bregmans. He could struggle if he needed to for a little bit. That's fine. It happens.
They had the talent around him where all he had to do was show up and put in the work. They knew what he would eventually become, and he's paid off in spades for him.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Now he's the ALCS MVP and World Series MVP.
Yeah, and coming into last year, he wasn't a top 100 prospect.
That's right.
He wasn't very highly rated. He wasn't as highly rated as Peraza was, but Houston trusted in their development enough to give it to Pena, and we stuck with IKF.
let's not go down that rabbit hole, please. I don't want to talk about IKF. I've done enough of that.
Last year was as bad as it got.
Yeah, but you're 100% right. They did go. You're right, because look, the New York Yankees, Brian Cashman said in spring, they said, hey, Peraza's his glove is Major League ready. We know that. They could have very well said, hey, look, we got the offense. Let him play short. They didn't do it.
All he had to do was make plays. You bring in IKF because he's supposed to be this great fielder. Peraza's as good a fielder last spring training as IKF has ever been.
Yeah, that's right.
I think Peraza has Gold Glove shortstop potential.
I agree.
I really believe that. I think he's going to be better than people expect with the bat.
Yep.
And
I remember actually talking to Ozzie Guillen. Ozzie Guillen knows his father pretty well. And I remember him telling me when Oswald was 14, 15 years old, he was making plays way better than the adults at that age. He was by even at that time, he was the best fielder on the field. Yeah, like he was that friggin' good at that age.
I had read the same thing, and you can see it when he plays. It's a very natural shortstop.
Yes.
It's a very one play that sticks out to me is in the ALCS. He made a play going across his body that most guys would field with an open glove. He backhanded the ball and allowed the transfer to be so much quicker. That's not something you see from 21, 22-year-old guys unless it's a very natural position for him.
Yep. And I know, I mentioned this to you before we were talking. I have a great concern that the New York Yankees are going to end up trading him and keeping Gleyber Torres instead of him, leaving Torres at second base and making Volpe eventually the shortstop. That is a great concern to me because, like you just said, and shout out to Jack Curry for recognizing this the other day. Jack Curry flat out said, basically, forget what your analytic numbers say. When you watch Peraza play shortstop, you see a shortstop. He passes the eye test. He's as smooth as anybody could be. So I worry that the Yankees go, he's the guy we'll move because we feel Volpe. You can have both of these guys next year immediately in that lineup and feel much better about yourself.
Absolutely. You can stick Volpe at second base right now and Peraza at shortstop, and you add speed, you add power, you add guys that don't take plays off.
Thank you. I was just going to say you add gamers to your lineup. That is what they need.
You're not going to see those guys dog it down the first baseline. They're going to give you a hard run every time. They're not going to take plays off. They're not going to know that there's only 2 outs and they're walking off the field. They're just not those kind of players.
Yeah, 100%. I'm right there with you. So we know a lot about those guys, and thank you for talking about that because you're going to be doing a lot more conversations on these guys. question for you. I want to ask you about a player that you actually mentioned to me, and I want you to tell the fans about him a little more.
Okay.
Tell the Yankee fans out there about draft pick a couple of years ago, Brandon Beck, that everybody needs to really keep their eyes open this year on.
They do. He's coming back from Tommy John surgery that he had last fall, so he should be ready this spring. 4-pitch pitcher, dominant as far as his command control, true 12-6 curveball. He was 93, 94 in college. They believe they can get him 4 or 5 miles an hour down at the gas station, which is, they've done it with Ken Waldachuk. They did it with Hayden Wesniewski. They have a track record adding that kind of velocity. But this guy comes with premium command. He's Shane Bieber-like in how he can paint corners, that kind of thing.
That was his comp at where was he at? Stanford, right? Stanford, yeah. I remember that was his comp when he was drafted, is that they saw a lot of Shane Bieber in him.
They did, because of his poise and his mental makeup on the mound. He pitches much older than he actually is, and he's an absolute fearless pit bull on the mound. Last game in college, he was the starting pitcher for Stanford. Every Sunday gets to pick what color jersey they wear. They're down in Texas. He says, "Give me the black jerseys because we're going to their funeral." That's a guy I want on the mound for my Yankees and in a big important situation.
Hey man, that's a dog, man. You know what I mean? You need dogs in baseball. You want a dog on your team, and when you got that mental makeup already, you better believe that fans need to be excited about you.
Yes, absolutely. And I think he's going to be one that starts in high A and quickly moves to double A. I think that
I agree.
I think you'll see him in double triple A next year, and he could be a serious part of the rotation the following year.
I tell you what, man, I am certainly excited about Brandon Beck. And let's go overseas for a second.
Okay.
Talk about a few guys here.
Okay.
I want you to tell us about Senga, Murakami, who I am through the moon over.
You should be.
Yoshida, and Sasaki. Can you tell us about some of those guys?
Sure. Senga is 24, 25, I believe. Not quite the ceiling that we've seen from Daisuke, Otani's, Tanaka's.
Kuroda, my guy, Hiroki.
I loved him. He was so good.
Oh, God. Come on, man.
He was so good. Senga doesn't have quite the ceiling that those guys do. That he throws hard, has a couple good off-speed pitches, but people think he's more of a mid to back-end rotation starter or a good pen arm. Yeah. But he doesn't figure to be a superstar like some of the other Japanese pitchers that have come over here in the past.
Okay.
Sasaki. I've talked.
This is the prize. This is the prize of the NPB.
Yes, and he's 20 years old. He's already thrown a perfect game. Throws 100, 101. Has got a devastating splitter. I mean, we're talking Yu Darvish prime splitter.
Right.
He's got a very good slider. He might set all the records for contracts for pitchers when he comes over. I think he'll get a bigger deal than Otani did, than anybody else that's come over.
Wow. But he will not be coming over till about a couple of years from now.
No, minimum. The rumor is that he's sticking around till he's 25 when he can come over as a completely unrestricted free agent. Makes sense. Murakami is the guy that I'm the most excited about.
Oh, me too. Tell me about it. I want to sit back and relax and dream about this as the New York Yankees' future first baseman, please.
21 years old. Just getting ready to turn 22. Hit 58 home runs last year. Hit 340. And I think it's 560 at bats or something like that. Plays first base, third base.
551 at bats.
500, thank you. Yep. First base, third base, incredible left-hand power.
Hold on one second. Can I just say something real quick?
Yep.
Guys at home, listen to this real quick. A 761 slugging percentage.
That's unreal.
76% of his hits go for extra bases. That's insane.
As a 22-year-old. It's just absolutely nuts. And the rumor is that he wants to come over sooner. He wants to capitalize on becoming the Japanese home run king. And hopefully he gets posted next year. And
and that would be, I mean, that would be phenomenal for the Yankees. One being, people always ask me, you know, the Yankees always seem attached to these guys. Well, the main reason is because they need that Asian market. That is a huge market for New York. It's money all day.
All day. And they had it with Matsui on.
Yep. Tanaka, yeah. They tried it with Hideki, even Hideki Irabu that first year. There was a lot of hype him coming here.
That's true.
It's huge.
I mean, they even brought Ichiro in to keep themselves in that market. They want back in that. They want back in that market in a big way. And Murakami's the guy to do it. He would bring he would bring all the eyes from Japan to the Yankees. It's a long-term position of need for us, as we really don't have a first baseman in the system that is going to be of his quality. Not that there's a lot of hitters out there that are at his quality anyway.
Right. There seems to also be, like, when it comes to the Yankees organization, there always seems like when you talk about first base, everybody pulls from a different position.
Right.
Well, maybe Trey Sweeney could become maybe Austin Wells could be a first baseman. They don't have that natural guy that's like, okay, well, obviously when Rizzo's done, if he comes back, that's the first baseman.
I think Wells could be that guy. He did it a little bit in college.
Agree.
I don't think Trey Sweeney's that guy. I think he ends up at third base.
Third base, yeah.
I think Wells can be a hybrid quarter outfielder, first baseman, DH, and maybe catch occasionally. A Victor Martinez type. Or J.D. Martinez, excuse me.
J.D. I was about to say, yeah, that's a good comp. That's a good comp. But he can hit. I mean, Austin Wells can hit a ton.
He can hit.
Yeah, there's nobody denies that.
No, he's going to hit 300 or real close to it. He's got 30 home run power. It's just he doesn't have the arm to stay behind the plate.
Right.
It's a slow release. And with speed coming back into the game so much next year, it's going to be very important to have a quick release and a strong arm behind the plate because these guys are going to be running like crazy.
Well, awesome, Dayne. Let's finish with this. Let's kind of tell everybody what our early expectation is. And, of course, you know, these things evolve. You know, this is only year 2 of NY News TV. I am just extremely happy to bring in somebody with your knowledge of Yankee prospects to give to the fans because prospects is such a major part now of an organization.
It's part of the game. It's
huge, and having you here to give this to our fans is big. So we already know we're going to have one podcast monthly as of right now.
Right.
We're going to do one podcast monthly, and we'll figure that out as we go.
Okay.
You're going to be doing videos for everybody.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing breakdown videos of our top 20, 30 top prospects.
Yep.
I'm going to be breaking down trades when they happen, when we get guys back. You'll be able to know what we're getting back in return or what we're giving away. And if I think it was an overpay or an underpay, good deal, bad deal, I've got some access to doctors who operate on these guys, so I can break down injuries and times and recovery times and all that kind of stuff. I want to make it the
basically, you're the man.
I don't know if I'm the man, but I'm going to try.
Well, here's the thing, too, guys. Remember this. Go immediately. So Dayne is going to be starting soon. I mean, Dayne is ready.
Yeah, I'm going to get cranking next week.
So here's what I got to tell you guys. The breakdown video specifically on prospects, will be designated to the NYY News TV prospect side on the Real Fan Package.
So join that Real Fan Package.
Join that Real Fan Package. That is going to be specifically, and you're also going to have your list on there
Yes, I'm going to do a top 25 list. I might even do all the way out to 50, which is what I usually do every year for us, with prospect profiles, 7, 8 lines about each one, what they did last year, what I expect them to do this year, so people have reference to know who these guys are.
Yeah, so guys, please listen to me when I tell you this. You guys know I have not. One thing about NYY News TV, we do not bullshit you. We tell it to you like it is. Look, I talked to Dayne and I knew immediately. I said, man, Dayne is awesome. Now, Dayne knows, Dayne, it's the first time of him being on camera, so we got to, give him a little bit of time. We know that. Dayne's been specifically writing, and he's done a tremendous job writing, but doing writing and coming to a camera is a completely different thing.
It is a little bit of a different move.
It's a little bit of a different move, but Dayne is awesome. One, he's accessible. One, he responds quickly. And let me tell you guys, man, the knowledge is going to be there. And I think it is very important that fans understand the Yankee system. Before you talk about a lot of stuff, you should know what is coming up. And who are the guys to move? Who are the guys to keep? Dayne's the man. That's the reason why he's here. And I am extremely excited about the future of NYY News TV and having Dayne a part of it.
Thank you, Pete. And thank you for the opportunity. I won't lay down.
Of course, my friend. So until next time, guys, we are out, and you'll be seeing a lot of Dayne very, very soon.
Thanks, guys. See you later.